don't get it. Are you talking about like drinking and driving?
Oh.
Come on now. All this
What did I do with this box? Where's the box?
I guess the webcast is going to have to get sent out over. I'm going to have to start getting here early to get all this set up. Sorry. I have to send an announcement with. Anybody going to the National Cyber Summit?
Too expensive.
No?
Not this year. Also shows like text reader, right?
Not so fun strategic
Getting
planning.
a better one that doesn't have.
Strategic planning.
Okay. So a Logitech one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you want to pay $300.
No, this is
Yeah.
Amazon. My dad's really good at
two-year
finding
path
things that
for
are used.
program
Like he
progress.
goes on eBay, Amazon. Like I mean, like he can find a deal.
You know, government pays you money, you gotta have something to show for it, even if it's not a finished product.
Or just ask for more money.
Right, but you gotta like come to the table and say, hey, look, we started, we just haven't finished.
And they'll just give you more money.
Right, yeah.
Somebody's gonna get more money. Project may get more money.
Well, I mean, the US did lose a F-35. Okay?
By the way, I got an F-35 for sale on eBay.
They found it.
Yeah. Well, it was funny too because they're like, we can't find it. Everybody's like, why can't you find it? Because it's south, dumbass. Like it's,
Yeah.
you don't want the airports reporting it. Like
That's actually a good thing.
it's designed to not be found.
Love it, love it.
But
Hear me out.
That's just for the
If
table.
you're gonna pay that much for an aircraft.
No,
would
we
you
should be
not-
on track.
Would you not have a back door in it?
we should be on the track.
I know the president of the United States would be mad at you transferring more than $600.
That's just
Yeah,
the
right.
stand.
Yeah, we transfer $600, we get
That's just
crucified
stand,
for it.
bro.
They lose a $35 billion
I sold this
aircraft.
exact same one. It's a scam.
All right.
Wow.
What's going on with your guys' TV there?
With the warding every time.
It's not on again, but it's not turned on.
You guys might want, yeah, see if you can turn it on. If not, then just move over here.
Which it was supposed to have right off the gate.
All right, so on Thursday, when we did class, for some reason, I decided not to hit record, I guess, or it stopped. I don't know what went wrong, but something went wrong.
That one's on the other side.
Instructor HD.
Pulling into the parking lot.
Are they all on HDMI 1? That one still says no signal.
Yeah.
Are they unplugged
Yeah,
over here?
just maybe move. Yeah, you guys can just move to a different pod if you want, so that you can actually see stuff. No, it's all routed back there in their room, which I'm not allowed to touch. So. All right. So
You just closed your eyes.
when we last left our heroes, we had just determined how we were going to get rid of those lines that were duplicated. So here we've opened up a new terminal because somehow our instance got turned off, and we find ourselves in a situation where we need to recover the commands that we used, or we're going to start all over. So we also don't have a recording from Thursday because of that. So this can happen. So let's take a look at our history. We're just going to type history here, and we're going to pipe that to less. That does not look like everything that we did in the last week. You going to say something?
I was ZSH underscore history.
Okay.
Or dot. Sorry, put a dot in front of it.
Dot history?
Or less that file.
Oh, okay. Let's try that.
The dot needs to be in front of the ZSH.
Why?
It's a hidden file.
Oh, underscore. Okay, there we go. All right. What is happening? Let's go full screen. There we go. Now we can see what's happening. All right, so less dot zsh. We'll tab complete, so this time it should work. Oh, same thing.
So when you're in Z shell, right, which is what we're in, it should pull from that history file already. So if you're in bash and you want to pull the Z shell history, then you would have to specify.
So does anybody know why we do not have all of the history of those commands that we were doing?
I can take an educated guess.
Because I thought history recorded all the commands that you put on the command line.
Were we using a special tool?
Hmm?
Were we?
Only-
I think so.
Maybe only in that instance, if that command line, if you had taken that window completely down, then you start over with a new command line.
We had 5 different terminal windows open.
Well, those are wrong ones.
So how does it know which, like, how does the .zsh history know which one to keep? Does it log all of them from all the windows?
I would venture to say the last one closed is going to have the last write to the file.
So we closed the wrong one. There's a lesson. So question, is it possible for us to fix this so that the history from all of the terminal windows gets saved?
I'm gonna say yes.
Well, I'm going to leave this as an exercise for you guys to figure out. Because you don't want this happening. This sucks. All right. So let's try to get our bearings again. We were looking at syslog, right?
But I normally use I normally use TTY though. So I only have one.
So we were looking at syslog, looking at the things that were in here, and we found that in one of those syslog files, we were trying to find from the syslog files, what were we trying to find? DHCP requests, right? So I remember we looked up DHCP requests. That's not a D. DHCP request.
I think I might have found.
You might have found an answer for us.
I might have found an answer.
Do you guys care about that, or just want to move on?
I kind of want to know this because this has also happened to me.
All right. How do we fix it, Keith?
Here, can I send this to you?
You don't
Sure.
have a U in it.
Where are you going to send it?
Discord?
That sounds like a good plan.
You misspelled it as, you didn't include the U in it, so that's why.
Yeah, we'll fix that in just a second.
Mine go that low.
I love how it tells me there's an accident on I-85 and I-20. Like, I'm remotely close to either one of those.
Probably typed in more codes because tail gives you only time, lost time.
Okay.
So you probably typed in schools.
Here's the same. Oh, okay. I see. Never mind. Tail only gives
You can specify to give you 20, 30, but you just have to put a number.
All right, well, we're just going to go back to here because I don't know why this thing's being dumb. Windows, go away.
Should be there.
That wasn't good. What if I say 30?
No Windows. I said go away.
Well, you have to
They come back. I said go away. All right, so I'll just use Discord on my phone. We'll take a look at this. Was it a super long?
It was, but you'd probably be able to Google preserve bash history in multiple terminal windows and get the stack exchange.
All right, let's take a look at that because it's very handy to have multiple terminal windows.
Or
There-
use Terminator.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe we introduced you guys to a new tool. Oh, we're having trouble finding Google now. You know what? This is my day, man. I'm just having a wonderful day.
To be fair, it is Firefox.
All right, folks, we got it here. No internet secured. Well, that's handy. Let's check this guy.
It might be your.
Interesting, the VPN's connected. That's great. Not sure how that happens if we have no internet. Did you have to park like 10 miles away and walk?
No, I had to drive up and pick up my ticket and then, or my parking
Your permit?
Yeah, and then they said, the sign says it enforces everything starting tomorrow, so I think you can appeal yours. Because they're not supposed to probably check right now, but they're just.
Gotta make that money.
Maybe they're practicing.
They were,
Yeah.
they were checking out the nursing parking lot when I ran out there because I was like, I started walking, then I saw the car coming in. I just started walking faster, thinking I don't want to be like DJ. It was just
Well,
like,
That's a good life goal.
Yeah,
right
okay.
You don't want to be DJ.
Yeah.
Good life goal there.
I'll try not to be offended by that. But currently with my
Wait, when'd you get yours?
Discord doing that. What'd you say?
When'd you get yours today?
Yeah, I got a ticket today. Well, like 5 minutes after I parked.
Oh.
Because maybe they thought I was like a dumb student or something. Not like you guys are dumb, but I mean dumb student who's parking in the
I'll try not
faculty
to take offense
spots.
to that.
It's just, yeah.
Maybe they thought I was one of those students that just like, I'm not going to buy a parking pass. I'm just going to park in the faculty lot.
So like I've been doing.
John, do you know anybody?
That's what I did all last week.
I haven't picked that
All right, so we'll handle the bash thing later. Now that I have a webcast with 0 viewers, so that gives me a chance to go back and take out the dumb student thing. So, or I could be canceled, rightly so. All right, there is no such file or directory. Well, that's because we're using the wrong thing. So we don't want to use less. We want to use grep. Okay, so there's lots of DHCP requests. All right. So how many exactly are there? We can find that out by piping this to WC and doing -L. Right? So we don't really want to do what we did redo what we did last Tuesday. We're interested in redoing what we did last Thursday. So let's very quickly go through this. You guys can walk me through what we're going to do. So we wanted to pull out the IP address that requested and the IP address that it requested it from. Okay? So let's see if we can recreate this. So we are going to use cut. Actually, we need to use sed to replace, so substitute double space with a single space. Let's pipe that to less and check it out. It really only matters sort of at the end, so instead of giving it to less, let's send that to tail, because we know at the end there's something. There we go. September 5th now has one space in there. Oh, we're not in less, so we don't have to hit quit. Okay, so we know that's good. Now we're going to use cut, and we'll use space as a delimiter. Why did I do that? -D space. And we're going to take fields 8 and 12. Let's pipe that to less and check it out. So we're expecting to see a list. So we're expecting to see a list with this IP address, then this IP address. Okay. So there's a list of a bunch of IP addresses. All right, and we also want to just find unique ones and get a count. So we send this to sort, dash capital V, we send that to unique, we then send that to sort, dash RN, and then we look at less, pipe it to less, and there we go. That looks great. Okay, so we had this, except what we wanted to do was look in all of the syslog files. So can we just put a star right there? Doesn't seem like that works. So who remembers what we did here?
Tell you what I did. If we want to look in a directory, that's how I've been handling it, is looking in a directory.
Can we try something like that?
Yeah.
Could, maybe. I mean, we could try it.
Let's try that. Well, I thought we were going to get counts, but we didn't. There's something wrong. We didn't do unique dash C. Well, we didn't, yeah. So that's one thing is we didn't do a dash C. The other thing is we need to use zcat because some of those files are zipped. So let's try now. So that's not going to work. But what could work, well, I'm going to keep this. Let's use home. Instead, let's use zgrep, and since we're not piping stuff to it, we have to tell it where to look. Let's look at all the syslog files. Okay, so here's where we were when we started on Thursday. We're looking through all those files, we're getting the counts, but we have this thing there that says to of, okay? We need to get rid of that to of. But we needed to figure out what line that's happening on. So in order to do that, we needed to do grep with a line number. And that we had a little lowercase n to do that. Let's try again. And we're going to run into trouble. Where if you remember, we ran into trouble because now it's going to sort these uniquely by line number. We don't necessarily want to do that. We want to grab
1, 8.
Yeah. 1, 8, and 12. But we don't want to sort everything. We actually just want to grep for particular things. Right, so I think we saved line 125. I think we had a colon after that. Is that right? I'm trying to remember.
We go back and look at the recording.
Yeah, we could go back and look. You know, if I wasn't getting killed by life right now, I would have done that. Okay, so we don't want to do all of this. So what we want to do right now, we want to look at the line numbers. We don't care about the sort unique. We can just do a sort dash V and pipe that to let's see what happens.
How many syslog files are we working with right now?
I think there are 6
Okay.
or 7.
You got them all in there.
7 maybe. Oh, there are 9. No, 8. I can't count. Math is hard. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're going to zgrep with a line number, all of this. And we're gonna replace those things. Everything that with syslog or that starts with syslog, we're gonna look in. We're gonna replace double space with single space. We're gonna cut this and keep those. Then we're gonna sort this, and we're gonna go to less. Okay, let's just do that, and let's page down until we find something that looks off. Well, everything looks right. I don't see this to of. Did anybody see it?
No.
I see it.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
February 2nd of.
Yeah, I saw it, February 2nd.
Okay, so.
Can we search in here? Can you
No,
do slash?
Yeah.
Slash of? Right there.
Oh, there we go.
Um,
Okay, so there's where our two of is coming from, and that's on line 94. All right, but we see a normal one on line 98. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back here. We're gonna take this and we are then going to we're gonna grep those results for this 94 or a 98. And how did we specify with grep that we want to look for more than one thing?
Is it that parentheses and colon? No, the dash is through, right?
Quotation.
Was that how we did it?
I thought it was like dashy, dashy, dashy.
The quote,
I guess I did it.
What?
it was in the quotes. 94.
So you think doing quotes? Let's see what happens if we do this. That says, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. So let's see if we look for 94, do we find it? Yeah. If we look for 98, do we find it? Yeah, it's in there twice. It's
Is it,
two of these have it.
is it in parentheses with a pipe in between 94 and 98?
All right, let's try that. Oops. Oh, sorry, 98. You just changed into 94.
98 on that second one?
That's true.
Nope.
Doesn't like it.
Dash lowercase e and then that and then dash lowercase e for the other one. Without the parentheses and the pipe.
Okay, there we go. So we can get rid of that extra one by saying, let's just look in syslog.3.gz. Uh-oh. No, what the heck? What did we do wrong, folks? All right,
Quotation marks
quotation marks where?
around the colons.
Well, it just worked a second ago for a different thing.
Remove left. Oh, you're looking in syslog 3. Should be in syslog 3. 90.
So syslog.3.gz. So what we can do in here instead is do 3 and 3. Boy, it really doesn't like that. I wonder if the dash E is. Anyway, so we've isolated what's going on here. What we discovered on last Thursday is that this says message repeated 2 times. Okay, so this is what's causing us our problems. So we hit Q to get out of less, and then we go back to this one long mamma jamma that we had before we were doing the line numbers. Okay, and
It should.
go ahead.
So I'm not piping it to less, and the way that I use double close. I'm just trying to figure out the differences because mine ran.
Oh, you want to go
more.
back to that?
So I did. It should be 3.GZ:94.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, there. I think that was what it was.
That makes a difference. There we go. So we see what one looks like and what the other looks like. And now we see that this one has this extra message repeated 2 times. So the goal I asked you guys to work on Thursday was to get rid of this message repeated 2 times. But what we don't want to do is just say, oh, well, before we do that, let's get rid of the message repeated by doing grep minus v. Because this is certainly one way we could handle this. And then that message repeated line is gone. And then if we go back up here to before we started looking at the line numbers to find the problem, if we insert that in there, this minus v gets rid of all the lines that have the word repeated in it. And now that 2 of is gone. But that's not what we want to do. We want to be able to accommodate those repeated messages. All right, so we looked at how we could do that. And we needed to write a little script that would figure out how many times it was repeated and then print it into our new into a new file or into memory or somewhere and make that work. Was anybody able to successfully create that program?
I wrote a function that I thought might work, but I don't think it will. Now that I've been watching you do this again, and it essentially just repeated everything twice, so that was not it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's actually take a look at that repeated line and see how we can fix it. All right. We did this on Thursday, but it's not in the recording because there are problems. So this is what it says, message repeated 2 times. So there are a number of different ways that we could attack this problem. Let's attack it like we did on Thursday, where we kind of separate this out. So the first thing we do is we get a list of all the lines that are repeated, okay? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to be able to pull out the number of times that it got repeated. And so this is something we're going to do for every one of these lines that says that it was repeated, okay? So we're going to find repeated, and then we need to pull out this number. So how are we going to do that? Well, we used cut, and we have to remember to replace that double thing, or it's going to screw us over. So first we need to do our sed, substitute, double space with single space, and then we need to use cut, use space as our delimiter, and we need to grab the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th one. And that should tell us how many times it's repeated. So we're expecting to see the number 2 when we hit enter. We don't need to send that to Les. We can handle it. Pipe quote.
You have a
Uh-oh.
quote problem.
Uh-oh. We got a quote problem. Control C.
It's in your sed command. You don't have pairs.
You don't need a quote there. We also have messed up cut. We need to say -F so it knows that's the field we want. Okay, there we go. We got the 2. That's perfect. So now we've taken out the number. So we actually need to start working kind of on a bash script now. So let's, we don't need to minimize that. We need to minimize this guy. Well, not minimize. Ooh, that's not good.
Need to,
Okay, yeah, don't know what you're doing there, Lennox. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. That's what's going on. All right, so one thing we need to do is pull that out, and we can store that as a variable, right? That 2. So let's see if I can get this. There we go. I'm trying to put this over here so that we can use nano and make ourselves a little script. Now, yes, you can use other programs. We're going to use nano.
you don't want to sudo apt install Terminator.
We can do that real quick. Terminator's handy.
I think it'll make this a lot easier.
It'll make it a ton easier. It'll be worth it. All right. So let's just open up a new terminal.
Oh, what are you living in like 2015?
I love saying apt-get.
Oh. I'm just trying to live in the olden days.
I do. Well, that would be very nice, but we're still running with this.
No,
We
it's
still
not.
have this internet problem.
Are you on, are you
Crack?
NAT, are you on NAT or are you on, Bridge?
I'll check that in a second, but it was working fine before. Okay. So we should have internet. Well, that was easy enough. Embarrassing, but easy. I'm not sure how that got turned off. Let's try this again. Still unable to locate package.
No, it's just a terminal emulator, so like, see on my screen, you take it.
But it's really nice how you can split it.
I can take it, I can split it, so I've got a terminal here, 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 and if I want.
I've used Terminator before.
DJ, you're gonna be recreating that scene from the movie we watched
Oh,
yesterday.
Wherever I can.
Use Terminator?
So,
Which one?
if you want to
An
run
MKO.
code here, and then run.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It looks like you're hacking into Matrix, DJ.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
38 minutes.
Dude,
What version of it?
nobody likes you.
It's like the new. It's on
They're all so
Schwarzenegger, but it's like
fake.
the new ones.
Oh, okay.
I guess they didn't get the rights to like the, you know.
I'm gonna see if I can pass it on.
I like it class.
Instead of opening tabs or as DJ was doing, instead
But
of opening
it is
new
on, so
terminal window.
Actually-
You can have.
Did somebody watch the webcast just so it says webcast viewers 1 so I don't feel like such a loser?
Thousands in
It says webcast viewers 0. Yeah.
You can watch it.
Yes.
Was it on
What'd you say?
So is it like his
I
like
think it's
strip
Um,
down?
Canvas.
Only did that
Oh
today.
my goodness.
Two won't be released for like a
Well,
year.
that's 1,211
You don't
packages.
actually need to update though, you can.
We're not going to do that.
You can go ahead and install. Should be able to.
It's the reason why Mortal Kombat 9 got kicked was because of Freddy Krueger and Jason.
Why am I going to JevinCanders.net? I don't know.
Freddy Krueger was
That's really weird.
I think that's the
Yeah.
version number, although that's a very strange way of nicknaming your.
Why did they shut it down?
Pay no attention here.
What if he was like a early developer in the backtrack days?
Find it on Steam.
All right.
No, I had to pirate.
Okay, so now we can go here and look for our little Terminator program.
$5.
Hey, I just saw it.
Type term, TERN. Not that.
It's either that or I'll give you the link and because their servers suck now.
Type term, TERN.
I don't know why, but their servers used to be like like you could
Okay, so here's the cool thing about Terminator. I don't have to, I can just hold down Control and make this get bigger. If I want to split it, I can say split it horizontally. And now I have two. I can say close. I can go split vertically. And now I've got two terminal windows. And when I maximize, it's going to do that. And I can independently change the sizes of them, which is handy. Now, we need to go back to where we were and grab our big, long command line history. If it's Linux, we can just highlight it. We can pop over to Terminator, and we can just push the little button, the middle mouse button. Okay, interesting why Enter's not working. No problems here, folks. All right, we'll just come over here, and we're going to say nano, and we're going to build a little script. Nano.
Do you want to jump into your directory?
I'm there.
Oh, wow, okay.
I dumped it into the home directory. Yeah, we could move that.
Oh, your pro move.
Well, we need to make a directory first, so.
How do we do that?
mkdir. Now we're going to move everything that starts with syslog to the syslog directory.
So it's trying to grab the directory and move it
Oh.
into itself as well.
Yeah, that is problematic.
You can move your syslog directory.
Yeah, we're going to call that something else.
And is it, yeah, it is on the map.
Okay.
Do an LS? Yeah.
Oh, I think it did it all. I think it moved it, it just didn't move the directory. Okay,
Yeah.
so we were fine before. Ah, that Linux life, folks, that Linux life.
I remember my first day using Linux.
Yeah,
Lay off of backspace first.
thanks for putting yourself in my shoes. All right, okay, so now we want to make sure that we're doing our little command. I'm gonna hit the middle mouse button. This should work.
Oh,
And we pull out that too. Great. Okay, so now we're going to open up Nano, and we're going to make our remove repeats.sh. Okay? So we're going to type up in here our hashbang /bin/bash. And now we're going to put some stuff in here. Okay, this program, or this script takes a log file with lines that say message.
Because it's different for distribution. I'm trying to remember.
Like smoke signals or something. Didn't have to have cybersecurity when I use smoke signals and messenger pigeons.
Okay, why did I take the time to do that?
Because that is best practice.
Even with all you guys watching me, and what do we have left? Like 20 minutes of class here? All right, we're gonna have to kind of hurry. But we want to make a script that is able to remove those repeats. Okay, we're still kind of there. So we're not going to make this script due today because we had to mess up with the recording.
Oh, I thought it was the parking ticket. I thought it was the parking ticket.
No, the parking ticket's a separate issue. I'm going to make a bot that will put my parking ticket up whenever I park within a radius of UAH. Or not my parking ticket, my.
So,
I'll pay for that.
point of clarification, I believe Canvas says this is due Thursday.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I think I changed it in Canvas.
Is it?
So, yeah.
But are we having class on Thursday?
We will not have class on Thursday. I'll be at the National Cyber Summit.
That's what I thought, but
Yeah.
I don't think everybody was tracking that. So.
Well, if you weren't tracking that, now you're happy. Because or you could be mad you got ripped off of one day of class. Come see me at the National Cyber Summit. If you really want to talk about Linux and Bash scripting, we'll do it at
When you're presenting, DJ, I didn't want to read the.
I present tomorrow from 3:15 to 4 o'clock.
Alright.
And it's really, I'm having Mr. Reese over at ASCTE. He's doing most of the presenting.
Alright, get this.
I'm just there. He's Batman. I'm going to be Robin, because I want him to be front and center.
Wait, where's this gonna be?
The BBC.
No, like, where are you?
Yeah,
Is there like a
main
hall
room.
that you're?
That's a great question that I will figure out tomorrow.
I volunteered today, and I was the only person to volunteer from here today, and I swear, they didn't give me the information for any of it. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. And I walked here and
How did you figure it out?
Oh, I put it in the Hey, did anybody get any information on what I was supposed to do?
I got it at the same time you did.
Yeah, we watched it.
They said like, just go to the front desk, because that's what she said to me.
It's like, hey,
And I got there and they're like,
You watched the same time.
they looked at me funny, and I was like, I'm
Hey,
volunteering.
well, this is a
I guess I
great
know.
time
She's
when it
like,
comes
I
back
don't know.
to copy all of them.
And then like her boss came over, like, yeah, I heard from this person that this person's.
Like, I know all the words.
You're professionals. All right. So we have now 19 minutes. So let's hustle and let's see what we can do here. Right. So we have a line.
At least for now. A little bit how to do that.
We have a line. It's a pretty long line. Let's see. Terminator doesn't let me grab that and slide it over, does it?
Yeah, you should be able to. I think you need to fix that issue on the left side. You right click, clear that, or delete it, close it. Nice.
Yeah, I forgot about that program.
What is?
Yeah, I don't know.
What'd you do?
I got issues.
Manager, come on.
Oh, bit like what? I4?
Blame it on the Cali. Can you grab that top square? Yeah, that. No. Strange.
Well, that why it's not wrapping.
Why you can't?
Well, I was
slide-
trying to
slide
to
the
change
window.
the side of it, but we'll just have to. but we'll figure that out later.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that challenge.
Oh,
Oh.
fancy.
There you
You should be able to do it from anywhere on that bar though.
Yeah,
go.
just, it's okay. Today's a struggle day for me, struggle week for me.
I know, but yeah.
All right, so we really want to take in the arguments. Okay, let's do this the right way. How do we take in an argument right here?
You want user input?
Probably should copy paste.
We want to have a
Dollar sign and
I
then
really suggest
whatever argument, so.
Before we got try it out,
If we do that, we've got to tie search file to one of the command line
I
arguments.
hate that.
So search file equals,
You look like.
it shouldn't have a dollar sign, should it? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
When you define it, I don't think it does.
Yeah, not the
Search
definition.
file equals 1, I believe.
all right. So that's going to let us put
No
in a.
spaces on the equals.
Oh, you ruined the fun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're right. You're right to ruin the fun though because we only have 16 minutes left. Okay.
But no, you do want to resolve this.
So let's take a look at what we have here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything that's repeated, okay? And I'm going to put that into a new file, and I'm going to call that,
You already do have to
Repeated.
You just have to. Well, that's our root version. I mean, you
let's just call it repeats. Repeated lines.text.
Repeat.
TXT.
some of them have software.
And I'm actually going to put, let's spell that the right way. And can I put the dollar sign? Okay. You think that's going to work?
You have to put the output. You have to put the.
It will work, but it won't be pretty.
Why won't it be pretty?
Well, if we want to use, I would use append instead of send.
Oh, well, why?
Instead of
Because
write.
we're writing a new file.
Well, you don't have the output.
Because if we want to future-proof and allow this to loop
It's gonna be.
and collect more, so if we want to use this against multiple files to write to a single file to collect it, if we're continuously writing that file, we're erasing our previous work and writing our new work.
Yes,
on
you're
top.
thinking ahead.
You
Okay.
can, you can use a pen to write a new file, and then later it's just gonna append to that.
Oh, okay. That's handy to know. So if we say append, if there's not a file that's called that, it'll make a file called that and write it in there.
Right.
That's good to know. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we had some pseudocode from the assignment, but let's just do it this way, right? So we're going to do this. We're going to search for a repeated line, or we're going to search for repeated to give us those repeated lines, and then we're going to write that into a new file called repeatedlines.txt. All right, so let's test this part of our file. Uh-oh. Let's see if this works. So we need to save this. Control O, enter. And then we come over here. We're in the right place, so let's do dots. Oh, we're gonna need something. Remove repeats is not the color we want it to be. So we have to change it so we can execute it. And now if we look at it again, there we go. That's what we want. So let's do remove repeats .sh. And we need to give it an argument. Let's give it syslog star and see if it takes that. Did it work?
I don't know, LS.
We don't know. So maybe we could put something in here to let us know that it made it to this point. That doesn't look like it's going to work, does it? Come on, DJ. We don't have time for this stuff. All right. Control O. Now, before we...
Like that's not working.
Well, let's give it a try. So, syslog dot repeated lines dot text. Okay, there's nothing in there. So that's probably something wrong. So we'll need to fix that. But at least now, let's remove that. Syslog dot. Okay. So let's try this again. And then let's look at it again. And it's empty. So something's going wrong. Let's come back over here and see if we can figure it out. So that looks like it printed the line we wanted it to let us know what the file was called that it printed. But we're in trouble here because this doesn't seem to be getting any results. So let's type that line out here. zgrep. Wow. Definitely is my first day using Linux, I guess. Or typing too. DHCP request. We don't want search file. We want to do syslog star. And then pipe that to grep repeated. And pipe that to less so we can look at it. Okay, well this one seems to have one, doesn't it?
One entry. No. No, it's one entry that shows that message repeated 2 times.
It's because that's what he has.
But this same line is not working over here. So what do we think the issue is?
I think it's the $ search file. I think we don't need the $.
We don't need the $. Well, we're calling
the second one.
Yes. I was wondering why you would use the variable name there.
Well, just because I'm trying to preserve the name of the original file and then add repeated lines.txt at the end of it.
Right, but if you're appending, you're calling out the file you're appending to.
Well, this is a file that we are. My plan was just to use this file one time.
Okay.
So I'm going to use this file to just hold the repeated lines, and then I'm going to delete it at the end when I tidy up. So this is just one way to do it. It is probably not the most efficient way, but it's a way. That was the plan, was store the repeated lines in a file, then go process those lines and expand them and store that in a file, then concatenate that, and then go back to the original file, use grep to get all the repeats out, and then concatenate the file with the removed repeats and the expanded lines together. Now that seems like a lot of work. There's a lot of I/O, a lot of input-output writing files. Maybe there's a way we can do that differently, and that's going to cause us trouble if we're trying to do this somewhere where we don't have permissions to write. But, you know, it's a way to tackle this. We can try it. So we need to figure out how we're going to, you know, what we call this file. It's not quite as important right this minute. So that's something else we can figure out. So we'll just call this repeatedlines.txt. Okay? So, wrote the file repeatedlines.txt. So that'll be our message now. All right, so that lets us know what's going on. So do we think this is going to work now?
Think so.
All right, let's try it. Yeah, I'm sorry if you can't see this at home. Okay. Right? So I don't think it's the file name that's messing us up. I think part of what's going on here is we're passing this syslog star in as our file name. What happens if we try to pass in a single file as the argument? Why doesn't it let us do this? Is that not a file? syslog.3.gz.
Tab it out. No, because he's using zgrep and it's an argument. It should at least try to run and then give an error message.
I'm only having an issue with the 3.
Will it run against syslog 1 or syslog 4? What if you don't put the extension?
Well, there's a file that's just called syslog, right?
Yeah. And that one won't work either. You'd be looking, it was empty.
Well, if there's no repeated lines. We know that the only one that has repeated lines is syslog.3.gz.
There it goes.
There we go. Yeah, I told you, it's the universe. All right, so now let's look at that file repeated lines. So if DJ's bad luck didn't rub off, what do we expect to see in here?
An insert in that file of that repeated line.
We expect to see that one pesky repeated line. Let's check it out.
I think it's something going on
I think
with
my
your
enter button's not working. Here's the other one. Yay, look at that. So we got it. This is great. Okay, cool. All right, so now we have that. So now we want to, go ahead.
With you trying to iterate through files with the wildcard, for some reason it's not wanting to put that standard output into an appended file.
So it's not. So let's do this. Watch. Let's do.
So do we need to legitimately iterate through, like with a for statement or file in?
Let's do this. Repeated. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm formulating something. If we come over here and I say zgrep-c dhcp request and then syslog star, the result I don't believe that at all. But it should give me a count of how many times it sees DH. Oh, I do believe that. You know why? Because we forgot to do the -I for ignore case. It should tell me how many times in each file it sees DHCP request. Right? So that worked. Right? But
why is it when you put it in a bash script?
yeah, when you put it in a bash script, it doesn't work. Okay, so that's something about that we need to, it means we've isolated the problem now that this doesn't seem to work if we, so just to illustrate what I'm talking about, let's do this. Let's do Control O here and save that. And now let's do what we did before, where we try to feed it syslog star. And let's see what files it's actually, so if I hit enter, it should say wrote file repeated lines.txt, and then it should run this command, and we'll see what is actually getting passed to it. We'll see which files it's actually looking through.
So you don't have the I in the second zgrep
Oh,
command. That was a Sean catch right there. It's just quiet about it. Ooh, it doesn't like that.
it doesn't for some reason.
Please, highlight it doesn't. I don't know if it might actually work.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like, hey, don't you take no shortcuts with me.
Maybe it'll work.
I couldn't figure out what happened with the reboot, and I was like, wait,
Bro,
what?
what? There's no way that did that.
I don't,
Oh, get Rex.
I'm not sure why it's doing a 1 there. So yeah.
Oh, because I was like, no way, I know how computers
So
work. I know
there's something going on. So what we can do is let's just actually echo.
Yeah.
That's so
Bro.
stupid.
Let's do echo
I don't know, bro. But hey, you know what?
$ search file. Are you guys just planning to watch the video? So you're like, you're out?
No, I thought I deleted everything
I was trying to,
for the entire semester.
That's
I
always
figure out
fun.
when mine's not working.
What'd you say?
Like I have the exact same lines of code, and it's my computer's not liking it, so that's mine.
It's only reading the syslog.
Yeah.
That's the only one it's taken in.
So apparently you can't pass in
Zgrep throw.
a star as an argument, right?
Right.
So there are some options that we can do here. We can feed it a directory and say process everything in this directory.
That's what I've been doing, multiple files.
Yeah. And I think that's what we did before on one of the assignments. So you're going to run into this lots of times where you have a lot of files that need to be processed, and you've got to be able to feed those files in. The other thing we could do is we could just put multiple files on the command line as arguments and say, while we have arguments, keep processing these files. Okay? So you're going to have to somehow go iteratively through these. You need to figure out, for each one of the lines that's repeated, you need to figure out how many times was it repeated. And what exactly was the line that needs to be repeated. So what do you need to actually print?
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Maybe you know, maybe you don't. When you get that number, right, so let's say you run your bash script, you extract that number. Is that number extracted in text form or numeric form? Like, is it a string, or is it a? I'm trying to think back to Python.
An int?
Yeah.
Object.
So when
Integer. That's
So when you pull that out of there, like when you're looking at it, it's definitely text,
right.
right? When you extract that too, and depending on what you feed it to, it might automatically interpret it as a number.
Okay. So something to play around with, I guess.
Right. So what I'd like you guys to do is I'd like you to try this assignment, okay? And if my system will behave itself, which it doesn't seem to want to be doing.
So is it due Thursday or Tuesday?
So I won't be here Thursday, so I don't care.
I think it's still in there as Thursday, right?
And I can change that to Tuesday, okay? Which will give you guys a little bit more time. But don't ignore this, okay? This is going to be a pretty heavy lift for what you're trying to do. And the next assignment that we're going to do, you will need to have this piece working. The next assignment we're going to do is something that we did in IS 477. What I'm trying to do is move that assignment into this course. So if you have me for IS 477 right now online, this is exactly the assignment that's being worked on in that class over there. So you're basically, if you work on it in here, you're helping yourself for that class. If you work on it in that class, you're helping yourself in here. If you had IS 477 before, maybe you did it this way. Most people did not write a bash script to do it. Most people just used the command line, which is all I ask you to do there. But now you're going to be able to actually make a utility to do this for you. All right? So let me pull up, oh, shoot, we're over time. Let me still pull this up really quickly. So I put this in the assignment, but I want to pull it up here again just so everybody can see, right? So this is what you want your file to do. So that syslog.3.gz file, it's got an original thing that says message repeated 3 times, and it says, if it says this right here. So I just made a little file like this as an original input to test on. And this is what it needs to be transformed to, right? So it expands out to this. That is the first part, and this needs to expand, okay? But now, the assignment that I'm going to add to this is you need to, and you need to output this. So you need to expand that input from here. You need to get rid of the lines that say repeated, and then make a file that has the same as the original file name that says .expanded that you write the expanded part into. So in other words, notice that this right here says DHCP request from 172.169.12.23. Let me change that to 25. And then so it's clearer that this is what's going on.
So, question regarding your intent. Can the addition, so when we expand these into the expanded file, can these be appended to the bottom, or do they need to be appended in the middle of the document where they were extracted from?
So remember that we had all kinds of crazy order in those logs anyway. You can throw this at the bottom, and we're still going to process these because we're gonna sort them, we're going to unique them, we're going to do stuff to them. So it doesn't really matter, and it's going to be a whole lot harder for you to put them back where they came from than to put them at the end.
Yeah.
Right. So for now, it's fine to just append them to the end.
Okay.
So my recommendation is that you take the original file, you pull out all the repeats and save that as a file somewhere. And you also you pull out all the repeats. So you save the repeats as a separate file and the file without the repeats as an individual file.
Right.
You take the file with the repeats, you process that and expand it into a file. And then you combine the expanded and the original file with the repeats removed, and Bob's your uncle.
Right.
You got what you need.
Should be a total of 5 files working with.
So you have the original file you started with, the source file. You'll have a version of the source file minus repeats and source file only repeats, right?
Would you not have source or repeats extracted?
This is the repeats extracted, right? Source file without the repeats, only the repeats from the source file.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have another intermediate file, which is expanded repeats. And then you're going to take expanded repeats and source file no repeats, combine it together into source file dot expanded. So it is a hefty project. Okay. I think when I did this, it took me like 40 minutes. So if it took me 40 minutes to do, then it was probably pretty difficult. And we're moving into the area where it's a little bit difficult. I would not be surprised if this took somebody who was just getting introduced to Linux this semester several hours, right? And that's okay. I promise you that nothing else that you would fill this with is going to help you as much as this is. Unless you like are going somewhere and somebody's going to give you a crap ton of Bitcoin and you're going to be rich, right? This is, if you had plans to play some games, this time that you spend, these few hours that you invest in this is really, really, really going to help you out. It's going to expand your knowledge. It's going to stretch you. It's going to be very awesome. And you're going to get out of it another piece, another little utility that you can put on your GitHub, okay? You want to make sure that you're doing that. That's your portfolio of stuff that you can use. So last night we had a guest speaker and somebody asked her how her GitHub was organized. And she said it's not. And that's perfectly fine, right? Right now you guys can just take these projects you're doing and put them on your GitHub. Now, be careful because somebody else could steal your crap and turn it in. And if you notice, I haven't graded any of the scripts that you guys have turned in, right? There's two things that go into that. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop the recording now so I don't forget.